Good morning, everybody. Corey here, Rusty Classics Garage. So I've got the Windsor up on the two-post hoist here. Gonna do a little undercar walkthrough. This car does need some love, e-brake issues, gas tank's not in super good shape. No leaks, but lots of dents, lots of things like that. You'll even see the farmer before me, or whoever before me, put kind of a big rubber pad in front of the gas tank, I guess to keep it from getting rock beat. Anyways, see, it's probably gonna need a gas tank. It doesn't leak, functions just fine, but I would put a gas tank in it. It needs e-brake cables, stuff like that. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna go and take a walk underneath this car and see what kind of shape it's in. I'm pleasantly surprised and I'm very happy. No significant rust, none of that. Just, what you'd expect from a country car that's seen some gravel. Anyways, here we go. Okay, so as you can see, needs a backup light. The bumper isn't in mint condition, but this thing still looks pretty good when you're walking up to it. The paint is pretty fair. You get under here and there's no undercoating or anything, and the floors and that just look great. The inner fenders look good. Gas tank, like I say, not in great shape, but no leaks. These floor pans and rockers, quarters, are just excellent. Some rock, whatever you call it, road rash or whatever, but it's just good. This is just surface. You can see the e-brake, cable hanger got ripped off when I was winching it onto the trailer, so that's going to need to be, straightened out and screwed back into the floor. But look at these floor pans. They are incredibly good. Lots of dirt in here from, gravel use, stuff like that. The floors are great. The exhaust is even pretty reasonable. Rear diff is a little bit, damp or whatever, but, it just looks really good under here. There's no rust, no undercoating hiding a bunch of evil or anything like that. The front subframe is excellent. The floor pans are good. It's got some leaks. Probably gonna need, get a bunch of this crap out of here and, let me see if I can, it's got some dirt, got some whatever. Steering gear looks like that shaft seal's leaking at the input, but it's a $50 kit on Rock Auto, right? Pull the box, reseal it, stick it back in. This isn't the end of the world, guys. His tires are old, but there's zero weather cracking on them. I don't know that I'd highway this thing to BC like that, but you know what? I would certainly drive it around town with the tires that are on this. Like I say, this is 60 years of grease and grime. There's no massive oil leaks. It's crazy. You'd expect for a car that's this old to be physically dripping stuff. It is not. The inner fender wells, they look really good. This car is just really good. Look at the rockers. This is just a little bit of surface. It's nothing. Very, very pleased with this car. Front bumper, excellent. Like I say, I would proudly show up to any local car show in this car. Had I had it registered and insured and everything, I probably would have taken it to the Nanton car show yesterday. That's my club's car show that I belong to. I took the Charger and the Barracuda, of course, because Charger, Barracuda. So, of course, you take those to your local, your own club's car show. But yeah, these inner fenders aren't rotten. There's just, this car is so solid. This subframe is so good. There's nothing going on rust-wise. Yeah, lots of mud to clean up, lots of stuff like that, but It's so good. Anyways, I'm probably going to do a gas tank. I'm probably going to do the e-brake, of course. You know, stuff like that. I'm going to make this car, like you can see, it's got the gas tanks pretty beat up, and they put this big rubber pad in front. I did buy some new gas tank straps and put them on because I wanted to clean the rocks out to see how bad the gas tank was. And now I know it should probably have a tank. But it's $500 on Rock Auto. We're not talking about $1 million worth of repairs to get this car back on the road. You know, you can show up in a decent looking car with a near perfect interior, excellent glass, you know, all for the sake of, let's call it $1,000 in Rock Auto parts and a weekend and a couple of cold drinks with your buddies. You know, that's a pretty sweet deal to get a car that's, you know, as clean as this car is, as nice as this car is, and honestly, as rare as this car is. There's not a bunch of 66 Windsors floating around out in the world, you know, like it's a little tight in here today. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit sketchy walking around here. Maybe not the best video, but like, look at the body lines on this car. They're so good. You know, I would totally, if I keep this car, I'm totally going to run these tires for at least a season or two. But I'm going to order some shocks, gas tank, e-brake cable stuff. Yeah, I like my stuff to work. So for the sake of a couple of $100 in parts, I'm just going to put everything new on it. You know, e-brake wise, shocks wise, gas tank wise. The car runs like a champ. I've got most of the brake issues sorted out. Still have to figure out why the brake pedal's not returning. The boost part of it works awesome. Great power brakes, but you kind of got to lift the pedal to release the brakes. So I have to sort that out. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to shut her down, lower the car down, and then maybe we'll do a little running video of it. You know, see how it starts, see if there's any smoke or any, you know, anything when I start it up from a fresh, cold start. Anyways, stay tuned. Okay, so keeping in mind, I've started this car 2 times since I brought it home because I loaded it into the shop off the trailer, so no starting there. Started it when I got the master and booster put back in, drove it around my yard, parked it back on the hoist. So started once, maybe a second time on the hoist. So anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to do a cold start on this thing. It's dead cold, hasn't been started. So I'm going to do a cold start on it, see how it runs, see if there's any smoke coming out the back. I don't recall there being the first time I started it when it was turned around in my shop. So I'm going to do that. We're going to listen to the engine run a bit. Yeah, it needs belts, stuff like that. But the oil, it's old, it's dirty. I'm going to change it this morning. But I want to have it running, get it a little bit warm, do an oil change on it so I have fresh oil in it before I go and, you know, assume the worst or the best. But like I say, I don't recall there being any smoke or anything the last time I started it. So I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to give it a start and see how she looks. Okay, so we're going to give her a start and see how she looks. Pump the gas a bit. Been sitting here about a week or so. Maybe it's out of gas. All right. Started right up. Not seeing any clouds of anything coming out the back of her. Oh, must have bumped the signal light. Sure seems like she's running pretty okay for being a cold start sitting for at least a week. You know, this fuel is probably at least 3 years old. The guy I got this car from, I'd have to check the paperwork. He bought it quite a while ago, and I've been after this car for a while, and he was never really ready to sell, and then when he was ready to sell, I bought it. So, you know, Jesus, I think my Charger smokes a little bit more than this on cold startup. You know, I'm not getting gassed out standing back here. Sounds real good. You know, I'm not hating that. It's pretty okay. But look at how clean this interior is. Like, go ahead, buy a field car. Go ahead, buy a car that's, you know, $3,000 cheaper than this one. But it needs interior. You'll never put interior in this car for $3,000. Look at how good this thing is. Like, seriously, I'm talking myself into keeping this car is what's happening. Like, I don't mind that the paint has some flaking issues because it's not rusty. I just don't want rusty. I mean, I do. I like rusty. But if I'm going to build a car, you know, this little bit of paint flaking off, who cares? Just drive it. Not bad. Not bad for a cold start after sitting for at least a week. Okay, so she's off the hoist. She's out here in the sunshine. I just wanted to get a good, you know, walk around off the trailer, running, stance, you know, like still needs that brake pedal return issue sorted, but it's running good. You know, I drove it around the yard here again. Fresh oil change was just done. Tranny fluid looks awesome. You know, I flushed out the power steering, so maybe that'll help with that power steering leak I was looking at under the car. It's a pretty minor leak, so whatever, I can certainly live with it. I find most of these Chryslers leak a little bit of power steering fluid anyways. You know, she's just running away. This car just looks so damn good, you know, like it is one of those front ends that you know, when you park it, you look back and look at your car kind of cars. The glass is so good. Look at that, like just lovely, lovely place to be. Anyways, think I'm going to put her back in the shop and put the Barracuda up on the hoist and give that car a little look out after yesterday's trip to Nanton and back. Anyways, have a good weekend, guys. Watch out, like and subscribe. More videos to come.